Good evening, boys. It's another late night video for you. Tonight, I want to talk about some stuff that I had posted on my IG recently. If you're not following me there yet, at Narrowway Man. And it's just stuff about how we are taught to view women. We have two primary teachers. We have the world and we have the church. And in the modern West, good church boys have been taught almost as poorly by the church as we have by the world. And it's created and lended itself toward creating this generation of men and young boys and young men who don't know how to look at a woman. They don't know how to talk to a woman, look at a woman, think about a woman, feel about a woman. There's this weight of temptation and fear of lust. And then there's this pressure and this idea that she has to either be your future wife or not. And you got to figure that out, and you got to guard her heart, and you got to do all these things. And it's been very, very damaging. And it's taught men how to not know their own sex drive and to not feel their own sex drive. And even if, as I start talking about this, some people are going to say, oh, yeah, well, that's only for marriage. Sex is only for marriage, biblically. But the sex drive exists before then. And you have to learn how to integrate it, because the problem with so many of us that have been trying to do the right thing, or maybe we've not been doing the right thing for most of our lives, but we're trying to do the right thing now, is we don't know anything to do with the sex drive except to suppress it. Now, let me explain to you how suppression works, right? Suppression is when you feel something coming up within you, but you're so afraid of what might happen if you let yourself fully experience it that you shove it back down, that you press it back down where it came from. It's like suppressing a cough or suppressing, hurling, right? Suppressing a laugh, suppressing tears. It's this move of trying to push it back from where it came from so that you don't fully experience it, so that you're not exposed, so that you're not seen dealing with it. And that is the one button that most of us good church boys know how to press when it comes to our sex drive, quite unsuccessfully most of the time. And in the same way that suppressed emotions come out one way or another sooner or later, the sex drive is no different. And we have a lot of young men and middle-aged men and older men too, who know of no other way to deal with the sex drive than either suppressing it, stuffing it back down where it came from, or succumbing to it, letting it rule the roost. And because of that, and because of the effects of feminism, we look at the body of a woman as dangerous. We look at the body of a woman as a lust object. We objectify her body to be something that is lusted after. For us, a lust object to be avoided, an object of temptation. Oh, I'm seeing some cleavage. Oh, I'm seeing some belly. I'm seeing some skin. I'm seeing a well-shaped rear end accentuated by tight jeans or leggings. Short shorts, whatever it is, the list goes on. And we see these things and we freak out. We're like, oh, I'm gonna sin, I'm gonna stumble. And then we're like, oh, I felt something. Was that lust? Ooh, I don't want to be thinking about that. We try to suppress it. But then later, it comes back up again. When does it come back up? A lot of times right before you fall asleep, trying to go to sleep at night. What comes up? A lot of things. Anxiety, rehashing conversations you had earlier that day that maybe you don't feel the best about, fear about tomorrow, regret from the past, all things that you've suppressed. What else comes up? Sexual feelings, thoughts, fantasies. Doesn't really make sense. Testosterone's the highest in the morning. You get the salute from the soldier in the morning. Why not all these thoughts? Why are they coming up at night? Well, it's because you've been suppressing them all day. Just like the other stuff that won't let you sleep. It's coming up at night. And so it ends up winning in the end, doesn't it? You can't suppress something forever and expect to be healthy, normal, happy. It will come out one way or another. And usually it comes out in a less natural, more dysfunctional way than it would have if you just handled it the right way in the beginning. So we have this generation of men, whether they've been trying to be a good church boy all their life, or, and it's like me, or they've maybe been a bad boy most of their life and they're trying to reform. They only know one move: stuff it back down, suppress it. So that means when you're in the gym, it's like a war zone. It's like, oh my gosh, temptation everywhere you look. Yeah, if you don't know how to integrate your sex drive. And guys, even as I talk about this, I'm like, gosh. I mean, I've had my own journey here. I've looked at the dirty websites, man. I've been on that addiction. And I don't like calling it an addiction. But that's what it was for a long time because I couldn't stop. It doesn't mean I was doing it every day, not even every week. But I was addicted because we all want to stop, don't we? But only those of us who are not addicted can stop, right? So I've been there. I know what that's like. Those of you who know my story know when that started and why it continued. But the solution to it, ultimately, was to stop suppressing things. Start dealing with things. And one of those things, there's a lot to it, because the reason, if you've seen my other videos, the reason we fall prey to addiction, there's a physical reason, there's a psychological reason, and there's a chemical reason. Psychological is like emotions, psyche. Chemical is the hormones, the things that are released in the brain that keep you addicted, such as dopamine. And then the physical reason is any type of addiction is meeting a physical desire. Some sort of a physical thing of, I need food, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, or I'm just, it's always a physical, psychological, emotional, and then chemical. It's a three-legged stool. But one of the ways that we break that psychological leg of the stool, become much more confident, much more normal around women, is we stop objectifying them as lust objects. We start seeing them as beautiful creations of God that can be appreciated for what they are. I mean, let's be real. Whenever you see a nice car, you appreciate it, don't you? Whenever you see a nice sunset, you appreciate it. Whenever you see a guy with a good physique, you appreciate it, you notice it. Why is it that you have to freak out when you see a woman? Why can't you just view her as a human? Why does she have to be a temptation to run from? When we start to see women as human beings, I'm not trying to give anybody a license to lust. That's not the point. The pure eyes can see anything and still stay pure. There's a passage, I can't remember exactly where it's at. We're about to do some live looking. I think it's in the Beatitudes, actually. Or the Sermon on the Mount. Yeah, Sermon on the Mount. Matthew 6, Jesus says in verse 22, the lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? And people will say things like the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's not a biblical statement, but it's kind of similar to the lamp of the body is the eye. What does that mean? It means that the eye is what provides perspective to the rest of your body. And is it the literal eye? Yes and no. It's the lens by which you see, right? Just because you're seeing a woman's body doesn't mean that your eye has to be full of darkness. You see? A lot of us think that if we see a woman who by today's standards is immodest, and that's a moving target, right? That's another discussion. What does it really mean to be modest? What are those scriptures actually talking about? It wasn't leggings, we'll put it that way. It was braided hair and jewelry, right? Not exactly things that we have a fetish for, I hope. But anyway, seeing a woman's body does not mean that your body is full of darkness because the imagery of her body entered your mind, whether she has a lot of clothes on or not. The mere image entering your eye is not what turns your body full of darkness. It is the lens through which that image passes. That same Greek word for eye is used later. I'll see if I can find the parable. But it's the parable of, I don't even know the title of it. It's the one where the boss man has some day laborers, and the day laborers come through, and one of them starts very early. Here we go. The workers in the vineyard, right? So the boss man has, he hires someone early in the day. Come help me for the day. I'll give you a fair wage. So they come in, and this is in Matthew 20, by the way. And then, midday, he goes out again. He says, hey, I'll hire you for the rest of the day. Come here, I'll pay you a fair wage. So the guys at midday come in there. And then toward the very end of the day, he goes out again. He says, hey, I need somebody for the rest of the day. I'll pay you a fair wage. And so the guys roll out with him to work for the last few hours. And then when it comes time to pay, he pays them all the same. The guys who started working at the end and the guys who started working at the very beginning of the day. And as you might assume, he gets some complaints. So this is Matthew 20, verse 12. These last men have worked only 1 hour, and you made them equal to us who have borne the burden and the heat of the day. But then he, the vineyard owner, the master, answered one of them and said, friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius, which is the day's wages? Take what is yours and go your way. I wish to give to this last man the same as you. Is it not lawful for me to do what I wish with my own things? Or is your eye evil because I am good? Right? Or is your eye evil because I'm good? So what he's saying, pretty clearly is, hey, it's my money. I can do what I want. If I want to pay him a full day's wage, even though he just worked an hour, I can do that. Or is your eye evil just because I am good? Is he talking about the guy's actual eye? No. He's talking about the perspective by which he's viewing the situation. He's saying, are you seeing this as evil just because I'm doing a good thing, right? So in the same way, that same Greek word for eye back in Matthew 6, talking about the lamp of the body being the eye, it's really talking about your perspective more than it is your actual uncorrected eyesight, right? Because in the parable of the vineyard, he's not talking about the guy's eyesight. That's not the point. Coming back to you and how you see women, right? It's not how you see them, whether they're fully clothed or not. It's the perspective by which you see their bodies, right? A lot of us have been taught if we take a compliment full force and we allow ourselves to experience that compliment, that we're going to let it go to our heads, right? We're going to get all prideful. In the Bible Belt where I grew up, nobody says thank you after a compliment because we're trying to stay humble, right? Hey, Luke, you did a great job with that speech. Oh, Luke, you're looking great. You've been working out. Oh, Luke, you did great leading worship at church. No, that's not a big deal. No, that's not me. Oh, praise the Lord. That wasn't me. I'm just glad I could help. It's not a big deal. We downplay. Why? It's not because we're actually humble. It's because we're so afraid that if we let ourselves feel accomplishment, it'll get taken away from us or it'll go to our head. We'll become prideful. It's out of fear, right? I've talked to girls this week too that are the same. You give them a compliment and they make some sarcastic dismissal. They're like, I don't know, that's not true. It's because they're afraid to let themselves experience the full weight of that compliment. They don't want to show that that's what they're really feeling to you, or they don't want to experience it for themselves because maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they don't know what'll happen if they are vulnerable enough to experience it. Same exact thing happens when you suppress your sex drive. It's, you feel this thing coming up and you're like, I don't want to experience that. Instead, if you want to have a good eye, a good perspective, you can see a woman and you can say, God, help me see her how you do. Help me see her how you see her. Help me see her and admire her the same as I would a sunset, the same as I would a really cool car, the same as I would a man's physique that's really cool. Yeah, there might be a little bit of sexual attraction in there. Thank you. Thank you, God, for giving me a working sex drive. Thank you. You don't have to freak out. It doesn't have to be a temptation. Now, the pattern of what you're used to doing is going to be hard to break. That's going to kick in very quickly. It'll take some self-awareness and some time to get there. And guys, I'm not going to pretend like there won't be some real sinful lust that sneaks in while you're doing this. It'll happen. But over the long haul, you're going to end up lusting a lot less because you're not freaking out. You're not getting in your head. You're not suppressing. Because the suppression only lasts for a little while. Suppression is a necessary evil that we have to have because of sin, right? As men especially. Sometimes we have to suppress weakness. We have to put on a tough face. We have to be strong even when we feel weak, right? You can't always share your feelings. No crying in baseball. If I'm at war and I'm afraid that my army is going to lose, as the king, I can't show that fear. I'd be a bad king, right? So you have to suppress sometimes. And guys, obviously, if you have some crazy sexual impulse that's a sin, and you've got no recourse to escape the situation, then yeah, suppress it, okay? But usually what's happening is you're just seeing women or you're having thoughts, right? You're scrolling, you're out at the gym. I'm about to go to the gym later tonight. Okay, when those things come up, invite God into it. Invite him into it and say, God, thank you for that beautiful woman that you've created. I'm feeling this kind of way. I'm not really sure what's what. I'm a little bit attracted. I might have looked at her a little too long. Okay. It might have been a little bit more than just, it might have been something more. Okay. Put all that out in front of him. Put all that out in front of the Lord. He already knows. He knows you better than you. Okay? He's not surprised. He wants to come in there. He wants to be a part of it. And say, God, help me view her how you view her. It'll take some time, but you'll start to heal yourself. You'll start to heal the way you see him. You can start to see him as people again. All different shapes and sizes, colors. All special. All beautiful in their own way. For the boys, episode 26, I think. Appreciate you guys. Take care.